It was a slow process, this noticing. At first it was one of the girl's fathers who escorted his daughter to the house. He lingered near the door and inspected the decomposing garden with disgust. The cherry trees still prospered, their branches heavy with a last shower of petals before the coming extravagance of fruit. Eunice tried to distract the man with food, with wine, with small talk about the strange weather, the dead birds. He shook his head at the feast she laid before him, the wine in his cup. "It's unnatural," he muttered, yet he drank the wine, ate the food. He appraised the mouldering house, the vines suffocating the windows like the veins of some great black heart. "You're right," Eunice said, and she filled his cup again, and she watched him drink as his daughter's laughter reached them from inside. They always drank, she'd noticed. They always ate. She made her offerings. No one ever said no. He was wrong, of course, about what is natural. In her years with her husband, Eunice had come to understand the thing about nature, the one that surrounds us and the one inside. It is what distorts, what rots and infects, what festers. Is anything man can do or be unnatural? Are all the horrors and all the monsters that nature births not of nature itself? Still, people make their choices. The garden, yes. It was foul, nothing like the sunny meadows of her childhood, and nothing to be done. But she took her guests to the cherry trees all the same. Not just the girls, but the men, the fathers, the brothers and husbands, and with them the mothers, the wet nurses and sisters and wives. As they came, she imagined them tainted by the house and his presence within it, marred by the rotting walls and the shuddering floors, infected by the air heavy with the smell of the trees and the mold that permeated all the curtains and sheets her guests slept on. They entered, they drank, they ate, they smiled at her and at one another, until the flesh beneath their skin started to turn ashen, until their eyes darkened, until all the wounds they carried inside them opened up and dripped. It had been a long time since they'd last slept together, Eunice and her husband, but she let him watch her at night, naked, her skin like parchment under her own fingers, her bones marrow-thin beneath her skin. He said nothing, but his gaze moved over her, eloquent and slow. Eunice listened, her eyes shut tight, her lips bitten raw. His breath smelled of spoiled cherries. She couldn't tell if she was listening to him or the wind, the trees, the soft thump of the dead birds in the garden below. Still, she didn't move. The taste of cherries lingered on her own tongue, too, numbing. She had swallowed the pit of the last one she'd eaten, and she could feel it now, growing in her belly, making of her a slowly ripening fruit. She wondered when she'd bloom.